how to create a zoom letters effect in Photoshop. I'm using CC220, but you could do the same in earlier versions as well. Create a design very similar to this, as well as many other zoom letter designs. For this tutorial, I'm going to use a document that's 10 by 15 centimeters, File menu and New. And I'm just going to go with 300 resolution, 16-bit, RGB, and a black background. For the source letters, I'm going to use a transparent background. And the key components for this, pass and layers. So a layer, new layer. Each of the letter designs will be applied to a separate layer. And I'm going to use pass because I'm going to use the pass script in fill. So I'm just going to window menu and history, layers, patterns and pass. They're the key panels. To create the path, you can go that via the pen tool as well as the curvature tool. You can also use it via shapes such as an ellipse. There's the path, the pen tool, but I'm going to use curvature tool because I want to curve. Make certain it's set to path at the top left. And so you could use custom shapes as well, but I want an open path. You've got option there for path with custom shapes. Perfectly reasonable as well. So just quickly create a path. Very, very simple path. Straight line. Curved path with maybe 2 or 3 points. And you can find tutorials about the curvature tool on the Graphic Extras channel. Press Escape to stop drawing the line. And edit and fill. Content set to pattern. Script set to place along path. Make certain that's set. And the custom patterns, they're all just a set of letters, all in grey. Reason for grey, it gives a nice range of colour randomisation. So you could create letters with shadows, bevels, maybe multiple letters in the same design, distorted letters, angled letters, and many, many more. Different fonts. So once you've done that, click OK. And this is going to be applied to a layer, a fresh layer. Set the scale to fairly low, 0.1. It's up to you depending on the size of your letters. Set the spacing to be very, very close. That's as close as you can get. Also, you can set the scale progression. I want it to increase slightly, not too much. So you don't want to set it like to 102, 105, and it will just fill the entire screen. But 100.4, 100.3, etc. And the colour randomness, set that to fairly high value. Once you're happy, click OK. And you can always undo. You can always go back into this very quickly and just tweak the settings. The preview's okay, but it doesn't really reflect the end result. And there's your design. And it's on a layer. Now, what I like to do with layers, I like to convert them straight away to smart objects. So layer, smart objects, and convert to smart object. Now what you need to do then is create another layer, because I'm going to add some more letters. I'm not just going to have just T. I could have just T, of course. I could fill this screen with T's. But create a new path. So just delete the earlier path. Create a new path using the curvature tool again. Make it the same or very similar. Maybe stretch it out more. Or maybe only a very, very short line. Or maybe multiple lines. So go and create a new layer. You don't have to create the new layer first. Doesn't matter. So layer and new layer. So you can see you've got layer 2 now. So edit and fill. Now you could use T again. You use exactly the same character if you want, but use a different character. maybe A or B or C, D, E, F. I'm going to go with A. And these were all created earlier. But I'll show you how to create them. It's very simple. A little bit. Click OK. I'm using exactly the same script. There are other scripts, of course. Random fill, really good as well. So click OK, and you can change the scale. You can change the spacing. Don't have to keep the same settings. You can also change the scale progression. Click OK, and you've got your design there. And you can always undo. If you're not happy with it, always undo it and do it again. It's on a layer, so what you can do, you can go to Layer and Smart Objects, Convert to Smart Object. The great thing about Smart Objects or layers, you can move them around, so you can change positions. You can also delete the work path there in Path Panel. You can move it around. So if you created it and you think, well, it's overlapping the other design, you can move it around. You can also resize it. And that's a great thing about turning it into a smart object. It doesn't have any real lasting effect. You can always just tweak it and modify it, rotate it, and it's not going to ruin the design in any way. Just going to create another one. You could, of course, use all the letters. Fill the entire screen with letters. So create another path very quickly. Like I say, I could use the pen tool. I'm using the curvature tool here. And you can always tweak the path as well. Just use the curvature tool, select the points, move them around. And again, remember to, you don't have to, of course, you could put the same letters onto the same layer. Doesn't matter. But I like to create one layer. So layer menu and new layer. And edit and fill. Use exactly the same script again. Now select a different letter. I'm going to go with P. So tap. I could use any of the other ones as well. Of course, you could go and create some additional letters. Or maybe use numbers. Or your own lettering design. You can change all the settings. You can modify the scale progression. Make it smaller, make it bigger. Again, the preview doesn't really match the end result. And you can't zoom in, unfortunately, on the preview, which is a pity. So you've got your design there. And you can always undo, so you can make a new, maybe a different path, up to you. And as I said, it's a layer, so you can go to Layer and Smart Objects and Convert to Smart Object. Delete that via the Path Panel. And that's it. You've got all those designs now. And you can move them around and resize them. But you can also apply effects. And you could also apply effects to the start design as well, like a blur or something. Maybe the P could be blurred initially. So you can say tap or PTA or pat. A whole range of letters can be created. And now what you can do, because they're smart objects, you can also apply effects. You can also apply layer styles, which you can then remove, which is also very useful. So you can add a bevel, a shadow, maybe a pattern overlay, a gradient overlay. Click OK. We go to T and then filter, stylize and oil paint or find edges. I'm going to set the stylization, etc. high, click OK. And you can apply it 3, 4, 5 times to make it very blurry or smeary. Click OK again. And you can remove these at any point. You can go over to your layers panel and you can remove them. You don't have to keep them as is. And that's a great thing about smart filters, smart objects. And also you can recolor it. So image menu, adjustments, black and white, hue and saturation. Just recolor letters. And again, you can remove those as well. You don't have to, you can get rid of them, so you don't have to keep that. And you can also apply transformations. So you can go to Edit menu, Transform and Warp, and distort it. So drag that around, drag all the points. Once you're happy with transformation, click OK. And you can also apply, as before, filters, such as filter and liquify. Especially useful with a zoom. So you can go to, just move that around the central main character. But you can go to the top, the start point, and drag that to extend the zoom a bit. Click OK. You've got your design there. And you can do auto. And once you're if you're happy with it, that's fine. If you're not happy with it, you can always undo it. Go to the liquify and disable it or remove it, delete it. What you can also do, you can select all of the characters and turn them all into a single smart object. I love smart objects. So layer menu and smart objects. Because the one thing about smart objects, you can always go back into them again. So you can double click on the smart object thumbnail and edit the design at any point. Once they're turned into smart object, edit, transform. You can scale them, rotate them, apply warp. Reposition it. And what you can also do, of course, you can duplicate the design. Hold down the Alt or Option key and drag. So you've got multiple copies and you can fill the entire screen with the word pat or tap. And you can apply effects to those as well, such as image menu adjustments, as well as styles and also filters. So filter and liquify, or filter and oil paint. So you can distort that design, and you can always remove it if you're not happy with the result. So you've got your distorted design there. Now you haven't, and now you have. Well, how to create those designs, the P, the A and the T. Well, I've created those in a separate document. And before I do that, I'm just going to quickly turn it all into a smart object. And again, once you've got it into a smart object, you can duplicate that and so on and so on. Apply effects to that as well. We'll duplicate that. But how to create those patterns? Well, I'm going to go over to a different document now. And this one's got a transparent background. And all I've done is I've got a selection and a letter. Simple as that. I'll go back to a completely fresh document. There. Transparent background, and create that by File and New. And use in the background there, contents, transparent. Quick and easy as that. And then just create a letter. Just go over to the type tool. set the font, and I'm going to go with Arial Black, or click on the document. Comes up with Lorem, of course, but I just want A, uppercase A. Now you can use it that size, or S. Couldn't see what was on screen there. So you've got S, resize it, you can rotate it. You can turn it into a smart object as well and apply filters to it, apply gradients. But I'm going to keep it also as a grayscale, just simple grey. And select around a rectangular marquee using from the tools panel, and then edit and define the pattern. And there it is. It's stored away in the patterns panel. And now you can use it in the edit and fill command. And you can change at any point. So just obviously a letter, you can add styles. So layer and layer style and bevel. Again, you can define that as a pattern. Edit menu, define pattern. Click OK. Go to T, select that type. It's still active. Just change it into a T or a U or V. Press return. And now define that as a pattern as well. And then you can use those in the edit menu and the fill command. And you can use them with the other scripts. I've shown you the place along path feature, but there's spiral, there's random fill, brick fill, and many, many more. And they can all use the same designs. Edit menu and fill. If the layer was available, you have to create a new layer. Won't work otherwise. Hope you found this tutorial of interest. Please subscribe to the Graphic Extra channel. Always adding new tutorials about Photoshop, Illustrator, Affinity Photo, and many others. Please add a comment or two. Always appreciated. A dislike or like. Thank you much.